Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Jess.
No, I'm Jess.
And I'm Joey.
Too bad we don't have Wes. Come on along.
Wah, wah.
There was a Wes doppelganger at
There
unPAved.
was.
There was.
I blew him a kiss.
I really thought for a moment that Wes had snuck in.
That would have been one of the best pranks.
It would have been
It
awesome.
would have been funny. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been.
That's too much work, though, Wes would have.
Wes would have not done all that work.
Because that guy actually rode his bike and did 95 or
First off,
120.
it was work just to get there to the event. Wes would never have invested that much. So come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so
Probably
with
longer.
us. No, I don't think so. We got a very light thing. It's all unPAved. We're going to talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping. The unPAved weekend. I like to focus on the
You want to talk about the whole weekend in an hour?
the entirety of the weekend.
I'm going mile by mile with you guys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lord.
Or we're just going to play
Wow.
bikes. What are you guys drinking today?
Oh, hold
John?
on. Ready?
Yep. Oh, that's a nice
Got one
quiet
finger.
crack.
That
My
was
fingernails. Someone lost their fingernail clippers.
That was a Tell
They're in my
everybody
backpack.
tell everybody what you're drinking.
because that's where they belong. I gotta have a Rusty Rail Brewing Leaf Tunnel Brown Ale, unPAved at the Susquehanna River Valley edition, official beer of the unPAved at the Susquehanna River Valley. I have a few of these in my fridge, so I'll drink this one, and the other one just goes on my like tchotchke bookshelf upstairs,
Nice.
just unopened.
It's a beautiful label. The can is absolutely gorgeous.
That's what it was like the whole time.
Yeah, it really is a gorgeous can and good beer.
I sold them the artwork. No, I'm just kidding. They do have nice cans.
Thank you
I'm
for
going
complimenting my can.
light. Jess, what are you having?
I'm drinking a seltzer, like typical. The grapefruit one, because that's the one Joey doesn't like. So
Well,
that's
none
the
of us. None of us like that.
Nobody likes grapefruit, so I'll drink the grapefruit one.
No, and I'm having iced tea. So that's it.
I'm having pierogies.
What we're gonna have? That's gonna be our cover photo this week, right? Pierogies
I got it with a pan, yeah.
and unPAved. Nice. I don't really have a whole lot to recap for the week because we're gonna spend the whole thing talking about unPAved. So we're gonna skip a lot of time. That's why we're gonna save some time, and we're all gonna give our take on unPAved. But I don't want to let everybody know that I just hit publish on the video from the weekend. Which is a weekend recap. It's not just race day. And I wanted to do it that way specifically. I was also required to do that because on race day, I had no time to actually pull a camera out and take a video.
I think I have like 5 clips from like, hey, we're starting to like deep dark Joey.
I know.
I like freaking hate. I was like, I got to document something. That was it. There was no time, and it was nasty out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it actually would have meant some great footage. But, I mean, I literally was just worried about getting from A to B. So
I had plenty of time as I was wandering around the course because,
nothing else to do.
nothing else to do.
Joey, before we get, do you have anything you want to? There was the tarmac recall.
Oh well, none of them here rides those tarmacs.
Oh,
That
somebody
tarmac.
might.
So dealers knew about that before the weekend. It's not a big deal. It's just an expander plug. No big deal. It's
Is it going to be an
specialized.
easy fix?
Yeah, everything's an easy fix for.
So maybe clue the people in that don't know what we're talking about.
Well, way to put me on the spot. All right, so basically, I'm gonna take Brian's bike and cut it in half now. There was signs. No one got hurt. Signs of potential wear on steer tubes of these bikes, and as preventative wise, there is a steer tube plug that's being replaced with an extender, just as a little bit of backbone down there. It's voluntary. It's a stop ride, but just just get it done. It's not going to cost
And
anything.
it's just the tarmac SL7.
SL7, yep,
Okay.
which we sold a lot of. But everyone's, I think, been notified, and as people come in and replace them, it'll probably take me no time to do.
Sure.
Luckily, it's not like it's not like some of the older bikes that were super internal and a pain in the butt, and then easy, just preventative.
Not like the salsa
anytime
set.
someone comes out like a Trek or a Specialized, everyone gets crapped on because it's a recall,
No,
but it's a safe
I'm-
thing to do.
I'm not trying
It's
to
not
be
like
a
Volkswagen and their chip thing, but
I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to share.
Oh, I know.
news.
There's people that
Somebody may
I don't
not have heard, and this would be their opportunity.
they
to
might
hear
not have
that.
heard, and then there's people crapping on Special. I'm like,
Oh, come
but
on.
you ride a Special, like,
Come on, that's not what we're.
I'm not going to sell you Specialized now if you're going to crap on Specialized.
No, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just making sure people know. I mean,
Buy a Kona.
Salsa had their problem with their fork. And
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they didn't even have a fix.
Smaller
for how
company.
long?
It's because that scene is a lot cooler. The gravel mountain scene, the adventure scene. They're like, they got it fixed. No one made a hullabaloo.
Yep.
And the Specialized does something wrong. Well, it's
Everybody's all over it.
Yeah. So if you're posting bad crap, suck it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching a ping pong match because all I'm doing is going back and forth.
No, I'm not saying it's against Brian. I'm talking about
No,
social
I
media.
just honestly have no idea. I mean, I know there was a recall because I saw it on the Book of Faces, but
Oh.
I mean,
So speaking
Bike.
of Specialized in bikes, do you want now that you could talk about your new bike that might show up?
Who?
Jessica.
You, not me.
I ordered you know about your new bike.
I have a new bike.
Yeah, she
I
doesn't
think
know.
I'm getting the Athos, right?
No, you're getting a Crux,
Oh, I'm getting a Crux.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
which is the end all beat all.
Nice.
And Joey said, like, you know how, like, I always make fun of Joey and his emotional attachment to bikes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to have to get rid of my Diverge now, so...
No, you don't.
no.
I
no,
offered
I
to.
don't.
I told you let's make it a single speed.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Never mind.
You just
We're
got to
keeping,
mix
You're-
things up.
keeping everything.
We were gonna do Athos, and she did say that, but the Crux will. I think she's gonna. It looks really cool.
Like a little better.
She's got the Expert with a really wild paint scheme. Her and Lori have matching bikes, but
yeah. And,
she's-
like, cool new shoes.
she's got new shoes, which she loves. Oh,
They're great. My shoes don't hurt my little bunions.
That's where it's
So
Recons.
they're much softer leather, so they stretch a little bit more, so they're not so tight around my bunions. So that was very nice.
You got nice bunions.
Yeah, I do have nice bunions. So, and it matches my little hat, which was really nice. So
Her helmet.
Helmet.
my helmet, my little hat.
They,
so
they do. They match really well.
they do,
They're-
and they
look
my
very
bike is
on
beautiful
point.
and has tons of nittany bags on it. So
So the Crux will be electric too.
Okay.
One
I'll
by
have the little like air things. Oh, cool.
One by electric shifting. Now,
Yeah.
how,
One by
wi-
electric-
how wide can you go in the Crux?
like 47s, or it's ridiculous
Okay.
how wide.
Okay.
But I've been told it rides.
That's what she said.
We don't do that on the
We
podcast.
don't do that on the podcast. We're serious here. No, it'll go for. I mean, I almost bought 47s today for
Yeah.
it, but I don't know when it's coming in. But she could run her like 32s as slicks. It's going to make an awesome. It's like an Athos on the road, and it's like a gravel bike on the gravel.
Because she told me she's in for the 90 next year.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
I'm gonna do the 200.
If we're gonna start our recap,
No,
I'm
no,
going,
no,
we're not
okay,
going
okay,
there.
okay, then I
Not
will
there yet.
talk about my experience doing my ride.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
If, anything else unpaved related?
No, nothing. Brian almost gave me a golden shower this weekend.
No, I did not. Don't you spread that rumor?
Spread that rumor. I hid in the bathroom at our Airbnb.
Thank
and
you to the Bruno family for their Airbnb.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
the Brunos,
It was
if
very
you're
nice.
if you're listening to us, which
Thank
she
you.
gave us a great. I would let these people stay here again
Oh,
anytime.
really? Nice.
I really wanted my first Airbnb review.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we left that place better than we found it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
I really wanted like a written out. I wrote her a nice little it smelled like cheese.
Perfect.
No, it was a nice house. A little creepy, but
no, it was nice. It was nice. It was a very comfortable bed.
yeah,
The
dungeon
room was
basement.
full of dolls. That was a little weird, but I was in there, so weird is as weird does.
Yep.
I had no problem sleeping in the baby doll room.
Just did not want to sleep in someone else's bed, so we slept on the couches.
I never did find the crib though. Didn't it say there was a crib somewhere?
No, that was like they're creating like MTV cribs, yo.
Oh,
We gotta
now
do
I get it.
GTD cribs.
Lord.
Once I actually cleaned my house, yeah.
It was an interesting.
Yeah, I
place
hid in the
to say this.
bathroom while Brian snuck in there, hid behind the door, and Brian started to go bathroom. And it's the first time I think I've really scared Brian.
Yeah, you almost got peed on. It was real close. It was
Yeah.
real close.
It was fun. We weren't even drinking.
Nope.
I kept my drinking minimal. You guys, yeah.
What?
Um,
what night was that? That was Friday night.
Let's do
Friday
Strava.
night.
Let's do Strava.
Let's do
real quick.
Strava. You do Strava Club. first.
Strava.com /clubs/gravel travel dirt. All right. So, random shout outs. Brian did randomly find 3 people
Yes,
who
I did.
did the unpaved of the Susquehanna River Valley of some distance. So Brian Corey from Leonardtown, Maryland, with 144.3.
Good job, Brian.
Brian is a little.
Good job, Brian.
We rode with Brian a little bit. Brian's a customer. Andy Umbell from Lintown, PA, with 151.1. And
Nice.
Good job,
David
Andy.
Ingram from Wilmington, North Kakalaki, with 180.4. To break into the top 100
Wow.
this week, you needed some miles. Doesn't say any.
Well, I forgot to
So-
put that part. You go on to the next
It was
page.
122.7 watch. We were up to 773 from 762. So that was an unpaved
Is that your guess? What was your guess again?
122.7 or
I'm
so.
gonna give it to you here in a minute. It was.
That's like my I had a lot more followers on Instagram.
I was gonna say
127.
Oh man, that was my. I am illiterate and dyslexic.
I at least went up like 15 Instagram followers because of
Of
unpaved.
some
Wow.
followers, yeah. So yeah, like I said, Brian's a local. Brian just happened by circumstance. We parked next to each other in the parking lot.
That was weird.
Me and Brian were doing the 95. We played leapfrog for like the first 20 miles to the first aid station, and then I saw him at the end.
Good.
It was fun.
Cool.
And you had to give him back his jacket.
Yeah, I have his jacket here. I wiped it down. And I forget what I was going to say.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You guys want to jump into unpaved recaps? Who wants to start?
Did you
Jess?
delete all the this or that's?
I didn't have any. We're going to be having to make them up on the fly. Jess?
Well, my recap is a little bit different because I did the social ride on Saturday. The social ride was great. It was very social. I met a lot of Happy Valley women, people who were riding, which was really awesome. We exchanged numbers. We talked about their races upcoming. It was a cool experience. I don't know if everybody was going at a social pace, though.
Okay.
You know, I really wanted like people like talking and all these things. So, but it was good. There was like 100 people. Kelly Catelli rode the ride. She led it. Her husband was the sweep, and she was talking during the ride, and she was like, "I always tell my husband we're gonna do these things, then he always ends up being the sweep." And I was like, "I get it, girlfriend. That happens too." So, but it was a really good ride. It felt nice to know what the mountains were gonna look like before I was going to do it the next day.
Was there any crossover between the social ride and what you did on Sunday?
No, because we left from two different spots. Because
Okay.
remember, we were in the little village thing.
Where packet pickup was.
And then the second day, we did it from that beautiful gym. There was no crossover. There was some gravel, and there was some inclines that were little burners. So I definitely was able to mentally know what I was coming in for
cool.
for the next day. So
Cool. That's good. That's good.
And
Now,
you two, what did you guys do during the social ride?
we
You guys did Dave's unpaved talk.
We
Well,
did. We did.
we also went to the little tavern there and
Yeah.
ate. That was what we did. Well, you were out.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
went to
yeah,
the
yeah.
tavern.
Ton Tavern.
Yeah.
I had the 21 shrimp and fries, which had like 40 shrimp and upside.
There was a lot of shrimp. Yeah. No. I'm gonna.
I did not drink while we were there. And then I just called and I was like, I'm drinking, but I was like, but I'm not drinking. Marcus had a beer.
I was surprised when Marcus ordered a beer.
Me too.
I was like, wait a minute, don't you know what we're doing tomorrow? So I don't know. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'll edit that out. No, I won't. So we all got there Friday night.
Correct.
And went to, guys, help me with, was it Bull Run?
Yep, Bull Run
Yep,
Tap House.
Bull
Bull Run Tap
yeah.
House. Really cool place. That was where they were doing the packet pickup and check-in registration for the overnighters.
Correct.
And there was also like a pub crawl going on at all these different bars, but we never left that tap house.
That's how it happened last year. Dave didn't either.
yeah. We ended up back in the back room in the game room, which I never knew that had all that space
Wasn't
back
there 2
there.
years ago.
Playing.
Played some DDR together.
yes.
You thought we were TikToking, but we were playing DDR.
Yep.
A classic 90s game.
And then
Cornhole.
cornhole.
Yep.
Yep. It was a good time. It was a very good
Yep.
time.
We met
Friday
those
night.
the nice group, the 3 group of guys. I saw
Mm-hmm.
them on the trail. They were very, very muddy.
My big impression from the entirety of the weekend was it was really cool to get to meet and talk to so many people.
Yep. Yep.
I said this in the video, but it's true. I feel kind of like odd and a little weird, and I think Joe, you may have expressed this too, a little awkward.
Yeah, I told you in the garage.
Yeah.
Like, I was a grumpy.
No, just you weren't grumpy, just awkward. I mean, I don't think we really
To be fair, without sounding cocky, I wasn't used to a lot of people going to be like, "Oh, it's the GTD guys," and
Yeah.
after it took me a couple people to like warm up and start talking to people,
Yeah.
and then like, "Oh, where are you from?" And
It's humbling, is what it
yeah,
was.
but at first I was like, oh, "People actually like
it was
people
humbling.
know me." I'm like,
and it just felt a little I don't know, strange, but cool. Then once you, like you said, once you warmed up to it,
how do you think Dave feels at an event like that where
I
everyone
can
knows
imagine.
him?
Yeah. I don't know. It was really cool. But once you warm up to it, and you get that like mindset of, it's like these are people that know you because they listen to you, and it's kind of like you
That's
kind of
the reason why we're there.
in a way you know
Over
them
here.
too, even if you don't know them, which I think is the kind of, once I came to that kind of like circled around to that, it was like, I don't know. It felt a lot different. I really
I've
enjoyed
never given my phone number out so many times versus this weekend.
It took me months to get it.
Like,
Months. It was. Oh no, I had a brain fart.
it. No, Friday night was a lot of fun though. Friday night was a lot
yeah,
of fun.
Friday night I didn't give out my number as much as it was Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday.
Who were these people you gave your number out to?
Yeah, I'm sitting there wondering the same thing, Jess.
It was actually a lot of females. There was a lot of
Well,
females.
you're
I met.
inspiring for a lot of women.
I met a lot of females, mostly because I was at the after party for so long. Because you
That was
guys
me
were
last year.
riding.
Yeah.
Because you guys were riding, I was with like crowds of people the entire time. So I was on the lines. We met those guys from Pittsburgh. I was waiting with a girl whose husband also was trying to finish but forgot his cell phone. And I was like, we've been there, girlfriend. This was last year for us.
I had my phone.
So,
There's no
like,
service.
Yes, I did give my phone number out a lot. And it was really nice to connect with people who look like me, who sound like me, and who ride like me. So it felt
That's
nice.
cool.
Because
That's
there's not a lot of girls in my age group in the bike club.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it is.
It's truth. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is different to be along people with my age in the biking community.
I was gonna say there was way more people this year that came up to us than 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, nobody knew. 2 years ago was like, huh? What? Yeah. And that's kind of maybe what it was, because I was expecting that little like under the radar kind of thing, and it wasn't, and it was cool. I
Felt
really
like Captain Kangaroo.
It just took a little bit of while to warm up to it and to feel into it. Saturday felt like a huge party to me, with the festivals going on and packet pickup.
It was a party.
Yeah, I know, but it had that
Party started at Dunkin' Donuts for that line.
it had that all day party kind of vibe, which was really cool. I got my drunken wasted whoopie pies.
You got drunk and wasted the night before too.
I wasn't that. No.
I bought you a couple floofy drinks. Bought you
Yeah,
at least one floofy
they
drink.
don't put anything in the floozy drinks. There was
vodka in there.
No. I was fine. Do you think I was drunk Friday night?
Oh yeah,
You
and
kept
Larry.
putting old lady candy into my medicine box, and I don't know why you kept doing that.
You were a little drunk.
And you just kept giving me old lady candy that I did not want.
To be fair, I was doing that before we ever
It was
left.
disgusting.
Larry had a little bit. Me and Marcus had a few. Called it a night. Watched you guys make fools of yourselves on DDR.
So it was a good night. It was fun all the way around.
Yeah.
And then Saturday,
Saturday we went to the alcohol section and the lady was getting us buzzed off of just like tasting moonshine.
I got some of that too. That was
You bought a
really
bottle?
good. Yeah,
You bought the little minis?
I bought the little minis.
Yeah, she's like,
The
here,
little-
try this. What do you want to try next? That one, this one's 70 proof. This one's 40 proof. I'm like, I gotta slow down.
Yeah, she
walk
kept-
away before I buy a bottle.
She kept shoveling, but it wasn't that expensive for like the 6 little bottles.
no.
It was only like $10, $12.
If
something like that.
I would have actually remembered my flask, I would have bought that maple.
Oh,
The
you filled it
maple
up.
would have been so good on Sunday.
Oh.
Just kind of you had that warming,
warm you up,
and it was 70 proof.
yeah.
I had the drunken
Whoopies.
whoopie pies. Yeah. We all had them. It was like some peanut butter deliciousness.
Yeah. So let's see. Sunday rolls around, and Joey, thank you. Joey was our cook for the weekend.
Joey's always the cook for the week.
Well, he made
Cooked before tonight.
breakfast.
Joey
He
cooks all the
made
time. Joey
dinner.
loves to cook.
That's what I liked about that versus the hotel that we couldn't do.
Yeah,
But
to be fair.
and we'll get to the hotel later.
Yeah.
But I would like the hotel next year. But I'll just bring a little butane
Out of the
stove. I'll open the window. I'll do some eggs.
the
and
manager will be
pancakes.
like, "There's some dude out in the parking lot cooking up."
Oh, I don't mind doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bring like my big thing my dad has.
Okay.
You know what?
You say that when you're hungry.
I've done that with adventure cycling though, where we've had nights where we've had to stay in hotels, and they're like, "Well, we don't have money for food, so we had to go cook what we had." And so you're setting up a kitchen in the
I'll do
parking
it.
lot of a hotel, and it's a little awkward, but it feels like people are driving by looking at you like, "What are you doing?" It's a little weird.
I do what I want, or either that or I'll be in Pope Patty next year. I don't know.
No,
I told Dave I was volunteering.
I did too. Well, we'll get there. Jess, what ride did you do on Sunday?
Well,
Which rides did you do?
Jess had so much fun. She said, "Let's do it again."
I first off, leaving Joey is always a little bit difficult because it's hard when I ride with you all the time. If I have a mechanical or if something goes wrong or if I can't find my way onto the route, you're always there. So when I ride when you're not there, I get super, super, super nervous, because it's just me in the big open road. But Joey told me to follow the GPS, which I didn't do. Joey told me to wait for the other 50 milers to follow them, which I didn't do. And he told me not to go early because no aid station was going to be open and I would get thirsty, so I would need water. And I also didn't listen to that. So I left I was waiting around after you guys. I left around at 8 o'clock because what time did you guys leave?
7:30.
Yeah. So what time did you leave, Joey?
7:35.
Yeah, so I was getting kind of impatient waiting around, and I started crying a little bit, and then Dave was like, "You can hang here with us." And then I was like walking around again, and I was like, I just really want to go and ride. We've been all this anticipation, like to wait around for another hour would be like really, really sad for me. So I rode the exact wrong route. The 50 was the only ride that went south and not north. So it doesn't start on the trails.
Uh-huh.
I started off on the trails and I go all the way through. I'm following the arrows, and I get to where it says 90, 120. And the guy said, a little nice man came out of his house and said, the 30 goes this way. And I said, well, where's the 50 go? He was like, I don't even think there is a 50. I was like, oh my God, this is the start of it all. So I went back to the place and I tried to get a cue sheet. But on the way, I keep asking people like, hey, are you guys doing the 90 or the 120? Are you doing the 50? And, none of them were doing it. So I found some nice older man and he was doing the 50 and he was like, I'm just going to ride back. This isn't worth it. So he rode back. I rode back to like rails to trails. And then I found a woman and her granddaughter who were doing the 30. So I went back up to the aid station. The aid station was just a woman pointing people in directions of the 90 and 120. And I said, I'll just do the 30. So I did the 30. I caught up with some nice guys. They're like, hey, do you want to leave her? Like I could hear them up front talking about it. And I was like, no, friends. That's not going to happen. So I just stuck with them the majority of the time. And that was nice but once I got off the back roads of the 30, I knew exactly where I was. Uh-huh. I went back to the finish line and they took off my timer. And I wasn't done yet. I just knew there was more to go. So I just went out and did the whole course again.
So you did the 30 twice.
Correct. It was beautiful. It was very nice. I got very muddy.
I love that.
There was no aid stations open, like Joey said, because the aid stations at Rusty Rail didn't open until later. Elise was there, and I was like, Elise, I'm really lost. So I filled up my water with Elise. I got a cookie. And then
did you cut the grass?
No, I didn't
You're
cut the
basically
grass. Yeah, so I did the 30 twice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it sounds to me, because you were doing the 50, and the 50 was mostly paved.
Correct.
So it sounds like doing the 30 was...
And you could tell people who were doing the 50, like they were clean. Like they had nothing on them. There was nothing on their bikes. And when they rolled up to the aid station...
Ted was clean. We got
he had fenders. He had fenders. So... Like, I don't know. I got super dirty, but yeah, it was fun. It was nice. It was beautiful. I loved riding the gravel.
Nice.
I liked riding the hills. I didn't probably get as many hills as I would have on the 50, but that's okay. Yeah, life happens.
It sounds like it was perfect.
It's not a big deal. So.
And to do it twice.
And I did it twice, so it wasn't.
So you did a metric.
Yeah,
nicely done.
Yeah, I also should have listened to the Garmin when it kept saying make a U-turn, but it was very, very difficult to navigate because it was a loop course. So it was red one way and blue one way. So when I was doing the course backwards, it thought I was doing the right course. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
But I should have followed the blue line instead of the red line because the red line was there because I was doing the course backwards.
Wow.
I don't want to be mansplaining. I just told her to follow the Garmin and not to start too early.
But
That's
I didn't.
okay.
I
But
didn't follow any of it.
And look, it was a better story. It's a better experience.
Yes, that's my point, is that you do you, and you ended up doing something that was
Figured it out.
a little more
Now she knows she's comfortable on her own.
for 60 miles.
Yes.
60 miles. So bravo.
And my 3 water bottles were fine, guys. I know you guys were making fun of me because I drink a lot of water when I ride, but my 3 water bottles got me to at least to at least the first attempt of the whole loop.
I rode like 14 miles without water a month ago or 2 months ago so I was worried about you not having water.
It's because I was hydrating so well because I drank water before we started. I just didn't drink coffee. You know, I got a little bit better with that, but yeah. So, but the hardest part of it all was with all my tendencies. The hardest part of it all was seeing you guys come back and not being there too.
You were there.
It was so hard not to be doing the hardest ride, or it was
not to be in the
so
mix. Okay,
hard not to be doing the 90.
No, it wasn't. I was so glad I didn't do what he did.
But to me, like, I wanted to be there. I wanted to see the hills. I wanted to do all of that.
Those are
like
mountains.
it was, you know.
Nothing exciting.
I know. You guys
you
don't
didn't
get
miss
it,
much.
But, you know, when you have
Just a
this
lot of pain.
constant desire to be the best, to be the fastest, to be the, you know, all of these things,
Sure.
you have to tame yourself. You have to say, no, Jess, this wasn't your ride. This was Joey's ride.
If you
So
wanted to, you could have gotten a boxing ring and got beat up and then rained on and mudded on. It would have been the same thing.
Done the same thing? Yeah. That's okay. You let him fly. Yeah, hey, we got to fly in here. All right, Joey, what did you do?
I was responsible.
You are absolutely correct.
I had a few beers. I hydrated a lot on Saturday. I drank like 3 Nalgene's between like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, every
and going
time
to
I
bed.
saw you anywhere, you had that bottle in your
Yeah.
hand.
I was trying to.
Smart
I even
dude.
asked for some water, and he was like,
That's not true. No.
But what distance did you do? You did.
I did the 95.
95.
and we're all so proud of you, Joey.
With
you have
Marcus.
a shit year, and I'm so
We
proud of
don't
you.
cuss on this podcast.
Sorry.
And you did it with Marcus.
Did it with Marcus Farkas, who Marcus was the. Sorry, Jessica. Marcus is the reason I didn't quit.
Yeah.
Like literally in the moment. I wanted to finish because of Jessica, and I wanted to like actually, you know, like finish something, but no. So that's why I came. I physically wasn't prepared for it.
No. I told you you got it done, so you were obviously prepared.
Yeah, but mentally, I don't know. I have
Well, I don't
mental.
think-
I have mental problems.
It's hard to mentally prepare for
But
that.
mentally prepared for it. I wasn't mentally prepared. Maybe physically. Obviously, I finished. So
Well, I knew when we went to Loudon a few weeks ago that you were ready.
Yeah,
I watched you.
Correct.
I knew you
correct,
were ready.
Correct.
Oh, I was.
Correct.
Oh, I'm. Yeah, I mean, I was climbing great in Loudon. Marcus paced us well to keep me climbing great, or keep me like. Other than that last little thing that Dave shot us all with, but
Coming back out of the ranch to go up that little
90% of us that walked it.
I walked the whole thing, I think.
But no, like I said, I wanted to be responsible. I wanted to have a couple beers at the party, and then I was just drinking water.
Nice.
I did have a coffee.
Well, how did the 95 go for you?
It was, I don't know. I would probably give you a different answer Sunday night than now, because now,
In retrospect.
I think it went good. Like there was actually nothing wrong with it. Like no, the whole thing was great. I would say, as far as me, I mean, actually, there was a couple places where I just a few parts on a climb, whether I took my jacket off and let my heart. I had jacket issues, too hot, too cold.
How much time did you spend at aid stations?
Not long at all.
Yeah, I didn't.
I would say we spent a little bit at Po Patty, probably like 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes.
You can look at your Strava and see, because I looked at mine. I thought the same thing, that I was only there. I was like, wow, I wasn't there 10 minutes. I was there 25 minutes.
Oh, I wasn't there 25 minutes. I don't think so. Maybe I was.
I didn't feel like I was either. But
We had 8 hours of ride time, and I don't know how long we were out, but no, we did spend a little bit because we had to take in Po Patty. It was beautiful. We had to get some pierogies, pickles. We got some of that kick you in the nuts coffee, which was named after that climb, which kicked me in the nuts right after that.
Good Lord, Joey.
Punch you in the nuts. No, I would say there wasn't. Physically, I haven't ridden longer than 70 in a while, but 95 wasn't anything really.
Yeah.
And the 7,000 feet of climbing was what it was.
Yeah.
No.
How did you feel on the climbs? Did you just?
Oh man,
What was your
first-
mental attitude with the climbs?
After I got past the first one, it was a lot better because halfway up the first one, when my heart rate, I think that's when I hit 194 was my max or something.
Whoa!
It was a mile and a half up that first. What is that called?
I don't know the
And we were
names.
only like halfway through it.
I don't know the names of any of
Yeah,
them.
everyone does. It wasn't Hoofnagel and all this other stuff that everyone's talking about.
Everyone's
But,
throwing out all these names, and I have no freaking clue what any of them.
but
are.
when I was like, oh my god, I'm halfway up the first of many climbs. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn around and go.
Well, my Garmin fritzed out on elevation.
Yeah.
So at the end of the ride, it told me I had done 3,200
Oh,
feet
yeah.
of elevation. And actually, I was kind of thankful for that because if I'd been seeing
Oh,
real
yeah.
number, because I knew it wasn't a real
Oh.
number. I'm firmly in the camp, and I didn't do it for this ride. But you talked about like not looking at screens. I needed
No
to set
screens.
up a screen that
Yeah.
had nothing on it.
Yep.
Navigation.
I had heart rate on mine.
Okay.
On my watch. My watch ran my GPS. It was a little shorted because of autopause. I corrected it on some stuff, but yeah, I didn't have anything on, which was nice.
I did look at you. I know you don't like to do this. I looked at
Yeah.
the climbs, the profiles of the climbs as I was climbing.
I think that would have wrecked me.
to know what I was getting into. Well, that's what also
'Cause,
told
like-
me on that last climb. I knew when that thing pitched up red that I was getting off the bike.
So that was the only thing that I remembered on the map was that last climb. I was like, because I remember going down that 2 years ago in the car, and I was like, whew, and then no one had to go up it.
Yep.
Other than that, and the kicky in the nuts climb, which was way longer.
That was
Then,
so long.
oh my god! And then that last part had the last part before you crested the top. Do you remember that? It was, or just before that.
That was
it
in my-
steep.
That was coming into the ranch for the last time, correct? Because that
So that was
my-
leaving Poe Patty.
Yeah, going
You do
into
some
the
climbing
ranch.
out of Poe Patty
Yeah.
on even the 95, and then
And you did a sharp
you make that
hairpin.
weird sharp turn, which I
Yep.
overshot because it was slippery and muddy.
That was my doubt moment through there. That was my, what are you doing? You should stop doing this. You should.
So I had like
Sit
8,
down.
9 times the whole stop, like quit. But like we were saying earlier, like, what are you going to do? Who's going to pick you up?
Well, I mean, and I'll get into my whole
Just
run, but
ride.
since we're talking about doubt moments, I came into, because I had such a hard time at Longwell Draft, I came into Poe Patty right at cutoff. And so I left just in the nick of time. And so all the way from Poe Patty to the ranch, I was trying to justify in my mind to say it's going to be okay if you don't make it there before cutoff. And I knew it wasn't that far. I knew there wasn't any real nasty kind of thing except for that. I knew that I could do it, and I had 3 hours to do it in, so I knew I should be able to do that without a problem. But I was, in my mind, I was justifying the fact that if this doesn't happen, if you don't make the cutoff, it's okay. I was just trying to kind of like work myself into that headspace, if it makes sense. But I ended up getting to the ranch at 6:30. I had a half hour to spare. So, yeah.
I think coming out of Poe Patty doing that kicky in the nuts, when that was a nice long descent. That was the kind of descent where I had to like make sure I could still use my hands. Once I got on the asphalt, I was like, man, how long are we on here before we get? And once I got back in the forest, you get back on the gravel and in the forest, like you're actually in the
tunnel.
When it was like peanut butter, oh my god! And then I was getting closer. That's when I mentally jumped back up again. I was like, oh, we're almost to Poe Patty or the ranch. And I told Marcus, I said, here's my plan from the ranch home. I said, we got climbing out of here. But then I said, that last little kicker, I told him, I was like, I'm going to get off my bike and walk it. I was like, and then it's home sailing.
Yeah.
And then that's all I did.
Yeah.
So once you got to the ranch,
Yeah.
I was done and I was able to track you. And that nice guy, Rich, I kept zooming in on my phone saying, okay, he's probably here. He's probably here. And then we were able to wait for you to come in because I could track you the entire time, which was nice. Not tracking by their system, tracking by
Apple.
Your phone, the phone.
Correct.
Okay.
Ryan
Correct.
turned his off. It sucked. I couldn't call him.
I turned mine onto airplane. I never took my phone out of my bag.
I did.
Yeah.
For the 2 pictures I sent you is what I did.
That was.
But all my stuff was dry in my Nittany bag. My tire selection was,
I'm gonna give them props too. Everything in my Nittany bag was dry.
yeah, it was like that for Loudon with us too.
When I did Loudon and it was torrential
yeah.
downpour and my bike was literally just sitting out in the rain for maybe 2 hours after we got done riding.
Like an hour.
dry as could be. Not a drop of water was on my cell phone.
I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It was when they say it is, and then there's a group of family came up to me and was talking to me about bags and stuff like that, and I was like, my husband's really into knitting bags, and I have one, and I'm gonna tell you that it is the way to go for bags. Like it was so helpful on all 3 of my little bags I had on my bike were so helpful.
Just dry.
Yep.
Just dry.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about
That
anything.
Water thing I have in the top
Mini
to carry
thing?
the 3rd water in was clutch because that water bottle never got dirty. So I could dump my dirt.
That's why we got sick.
No, what I was doing the same thing she was. I had a feed bag.
Oh, no.
And I was
I had a
using the
feed bag.
water from my
Yep,
bottom
yep.
bottles and filling
And
up
filling up the top one 'cause it
But my
wasn't dirty.
My top, everything got dirty.
Everything got dirty
It
out there.
was filthy.
Mine had my GoPro in it.
Some kid, when I was showing them pictures of our weekend, some kid goes, "Why does Joey look so dirty and you look so clean?" And I was like, "Well, Joey did the 90 and I did the 60."
It was 95. Those last 5 miles sucked. I had 0 mechanicals.
Yeah.
My tire selection was really good, but I would have been more confident. I ditched my extra wheel set I planned Friday when we were packing up because it looked nice.
So that people know you were on the 742 Terravale Washburns.
Yes, which was a great tire.
Yep.
I didn't slip or have any issues. I think my descending would have been more confident with my knobbier tires, but the weather looked great Friday when we were packing up. I did have a couple places where I think the average person would have ripped the derailleur off, and a couple, I think it was shifting my front derailleur or my rear. You could feel it get sucked up really quick.
Yep.
But I backed off, and like I said, most people just pedal through that, and that's
Yeah.
And then like coming into twice, I had to blast my derailleur as I was riding, so my chain didn't sound like it was going to explode because it sounded like a tank from World War II. It was like,
yep.
And Marcus is due, and Marcus is like, we're almost back. I'm like, but I can't have my chain explode on the rail trail because I was like, all right, let's see how it sounds. And chain leave's not going to do well.
Yeah.
And that was it. No mechanicals, no flats, no lights needed. I just wanted to be out of the forest before dark time.
Which you made.
I was happy I had my light on my handlebars for the Popatty tunnel.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that.
So my light was on there.
Did you guys like the WW signs that Dave put out there? The wrong way.
Saved me in the dark.
Because I was
I don't
like,
know.
I must have ran and I was like, wrong way. Well, where is the right way? Like, I can't find it.
All you did was go the wrong way.
All I did was the wrong way. Like, literally, I think I went from one WW sign to the next WW sign. When I came in, I felt bad because Dave was like, how was your ride? I was like, it was so great, but I got really, really lost. And he's like, you have a Garmin? And I was like, yeah, I got really, really lost. And he was just all confused. This was nothing to do with Dave and the marking on the course.
No, this was
purely Jess Sikorsky. This was nothing to do about the course.
Well, that stood for Willy Wonka. So if you wrote that, you got the Hershey PA.
That would have been nice. I would have actually gone for a little bit of chocolate out there on course. That would have been nice.
No chocolate. I am done with goo products. Not goo that they're bad. But I went through all my stuff in my bag, and I'd eat stuff there, but I kept grabbing like handfuls of those like orange gummies and other stuff and everything, and like the gels and stuff, and I'd eat everything else. I ate so much food.
So but
I'm done with cycling food for like a week or two.
I had nothing at the ranch first pass. I had pierogies at Popatty. I had a banana at Popatty coming back through. I had a half hot dog at the ranch, and then not until we got food after we left. Except for I went through, I think, 4 or 5 bags of Scratch gummies. I was an animal eating those things.
I think I had 14 of those packets of goo gummies.
Yeah.
And 6 waffles, 8 goos, pickle. I don't know. I should have counted.
Did you ever feel like you were getting ready to bonk? Did you ever bonk at all? No,
but I didn't want that feeling. It's because I hydrated and I was eating good over the weekend.
Yeah.
Besides the 21 shrimp platter.
So, would you do it again, the 95?
I came in and you did too, and it's funny that we didn't tell each other that, but we both told Dave, I was like, I'm volunteering next year.
Well, I told Dave, I said, you're not my friend anymore, and next year I'm going to volunteer.
But no, like today, I told you I'm going to start at 6 o'clock without Dave. And I'm going to do the 120 next year.
Yeah,
I don't think I will. I really want to do
careful what you say,
overnight,
'cause you
but I
can do
also
that.
want to do the festival. But I also want to work it too, and then I also want to ride the 120.
Well, I do. I want to give back a little bit next year because Dave's been really good to us, so I do want to feel like I should give back a little.
You
bit.
just want to be the microphone man.
No, he can sit.
Did
me
someone
down
do
anywhere
that
he
this
wants to
year?
go. I
Yeah,
have,
that
I have no
nice-
idea. I was never there.
Yes, the nice man was doing the microphone.
I was never there. So, I don't know.
So that's the cool part. I did get to see the whole festival. I did get to
Yeah.
see the 30s coming in, the 50s coming in. I mean, I got to see people on the 90s coming in, talk to so many people at the festival. I mean, I cheered so many people on. It felt amazing.
Well, I'm going to say this. I also, I was registered for the 95, and it was a few weeks ago that I started, blowing up, going, well, maybe I could do
back
that.
and forth, yeah.
And so I did look at some of the pictures from you guys and some of the things from the Dun party and all that stuff, and I do think I missed out a little bit by doing the 125.
A little bit. But you also got to do that 2 years ago.
Yeah, I only did the 54 2 years ago, and so I was at the Dun Party Pave for literally like 8 hours.
And that was me. That was me this year. I mean, not that I don't love it. I mean, it was Joey's race. I mean, I was signed up for the 95, and I know that when we went to where did we go?
Loudon.
Loudon. When we rode Loudon, I'm slower. Not by a lot. I can still see you guys, but I'm slower. And I wanted you to have this. I wanted you to go out with your friends and have this and not worry about me in the back and not have to slow down for me in the back. I wanted you to have this. So
I think what sealed the deal for me to go from 95 was 125 was, I rode with Larry and I asked Larry, I said, what are you doing? It was like hands down. He like never hesitates, like 125. Rest for 125. I'm doing 125.
Because 125 is scared of Larry.
Yeah. Well, so I kind of, that got into my head and I decided that, why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's push it. I've spent a lot of time on the bike. The only things that I wasn't able to do from a training perspective were elevation or gravel. But I spent a lot of long bike days preparing for a long bike day.
You scared me.
And I think that actually made it. I think that's what made the difference. I boom, boom. I really relaxed on the climbs. I let people pass me. I knew I didn't want to blow my legs up. So I just settled into a nice, easy pace and chugged up the hills. And that tire selection, the Terravelle Washburn 47s and the 650, I was Joey. I would have scared you bombing descents. I just let the bike go.
I don't want to take away from anyone here, but dang, Larry's top speed destroyed.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god, I would have.
Well, that's what Larry and I told him early. We got to the top of the first climb and he was waiting. I said, Larry, you can't wait for me. I can't have you waiting for me. So we hooked up again at the first aid station. We rolled out together, and then when we hit segment 3, that was when the beginnings of segment 3 was when my problems began for the day. That was when my derailleur had gotten so jacked up with mud and grit and grime and blah 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 that when I turned to go up that climb, the derailleur actually threw the chain into the spokes. Now I channeled my inner Joey, because I knew the downside would be actually ripping that wheel apart and my day is over. So I said it's going to be better to fall over, not get unclipped and fall over, than it is to do that. So I just stopped pedaling the bike, and I didn't fall over. I was able to catch myself. But I took a long time at the bottom of segment 3, sort of partway, maybe a quarter mile up the climb, trying to work that chain out.
Which one was segment 3?
It was the one where you came off the roads. You came through the little town, and you made the right turn.
Oh, yeah, that one sucked. I wasn't ready
Yeah.
for that one either.
Yeah.
That wasn't punching in the nuts, but that was...
You made that turn, and it was immediately where it happened. And so Larry, at that point, he's gone.
Larry's like halfway, like
so
Pope Hattie.
I don't know how long I spent, but I just tried to be really delicate and not bend the chain, torque the chain, tweak the chain, bust anything
Imagine having a single speed out there.
No.
That's what I thought about.
So once I got that free, I was able to finish that climb. And by the time I got into Pope Hattie, Larry was already gone. So that was the last time we saw each other, was at that turn in segment 3. Coming through the tunnel, that was a fun time going into Pope Hattie. I was not prepared for the tunnel.
Brian didn't know about the light situation.
I didn't have my lights on my bike
Were
yet.
you at the pre-ride brief?
Did he talk about the tunnel?
No.
Okay.
I just knew there was a tunnel, so I had it.
I didn't know there was a tunnel at all. And I didn't want to put my light up on the bag because I didn't want it to bounce off and lose it. So I had it in the bag. And when I hit that tunnel, I was like, oh, well, it can't be that long. So I go in the tunnel, and I'm with a few other people, and nobody has lights. And then all of a sudden, I see the silhouette of horses on the other end of the tunnel. And there's like the Amish with the buggies and the horses.
Yeah.
So I kind of spazzed out a little bit and tried to stop, but I had lost all spatial awareness. I was floating in space and thought I was going right, but ended up going left, and down I went.
So that, when you were telling me that, that's when I realized we weren't far apart for a while.
Yeah.
Because I saw the horses just after the tunnel.
Pause. I told
sure.
when I was on the rails to trails, I must have said, "You go athlete" to like 20 Amish people,
Nice.
like because it's just a person on a bike, you know. I'm like, hell, you go athlete, hell yeah.
Hopefully they're listening.
Yeah. So I came into Popatty and washed the derailleur down. Like took the water bottle because there's plenty of water at Popatty.
It's just not the ranch.
Yeah. Got that all cleaned up, feeling good. Got some food in my stomach, turned around and started heading up. And it was at that point that I began to question life decisions because there were people coming out of the difference as I was going into the difference. And I'm like, this doesn't seem quite right. So I continued. I was not going to be derailed. I just kept at it, chugged up the hill, got to the difference, got the Longwell draft. And Longwell draft, while it steadily got worse, I don't think it was ever really horrific. You did have to pick it slow, and then you're picking slow through all of this rock garden, and then somebody will come flying by you at 18 miles an hour, just bouncing off of everything down the hill. It's like, oh my god! And then I went into one of the water holes and came out, and the derailleur stopped shifting, and you could hear it going bzz, bzz. The Di2 was trying to shift, but it wouldn't do it, and I was stuck in the little cassette. The little cog on the cassette. So it was real hard to kind of do anything. I was just kind of trying to ride the bike when I could and having to walk it when I couldn't. And then finally got my way down to Pito, Dutch Wheelman, and he worked and worked and worked on that and scrubbed it out. And I think there was some grit hung up in the springs or something in there.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
With all that crap on there, wasn't in there?
Um,
There was grit in my butt crack.
And so actually, my day would have been over
Lovely.
there. My day would have been over there at mile 50, 55, whatever that was. But not because he got it working again. Then I had to go back through that little single track section, which was, as soon as you make the turn, giant water puddle again. And I'm like, aha, I'm not making the same
I saw
twice.
pictures of the water puddle. Did you go through that?
I tried to go through that one, and the bike stopped, and I fell over left. But I was
So you
outside
fell
of
over
the
a
puddle.
lot.
I fell over a lot. Well, I want to say a lot. I fell over a few times. But by that time, I had learned to just roll with it. And you look left, and if there's no rock there, you just go and kind of roll. It's kind of like parkour. You just go with it. And that was when I was feeling really good coming back down that big descent, got into Popatty. And that was when I realized that I was real close to the cutoff time, if not maybe even a couple minutes past it, which made me a little nervous. So I just grabbed a banana, filled up the water bottles, and just jetted right out. Got to the ranch, and they were out of water, which was a little problematic for me. Would have been nice to have some water. I think next year I would recommend, if you're doing the drop
Keystone?
bags. No, I'd recommend dropping some water bottles in your drop bags, even if you don't think you'll need them.
Just
Anybody
back
that's
up.
listening. Yep. If I'd have had 6 bottles in my drop bag that I saw twice and 3 bottles in the drop bag that I saw the last time at the ranch, I would have been fine. But it was, I won't lie, it was tough because it was dark at that point, and it had started to rain again, and climbing up that last little spit, I was watching on my Garmin, and as soon as I got to where that pitch, the gray turned red, I got off the bike, and it was a little more than a half a mile that I walked. And I just didn't feel like that was going to be the smart thing to do, to try to go up that in the dark and the rain. And I couldn't wear my glasses because I couldn't see because the rain was on my glasses. Got to the top and just said, it's time to go. Balmed down as fast as I felt safe coming down that descent, and hit the rail trail eventually, hit the rail trail.
God, it wasn't the most beautiful part of the ride.
Hitting the rail trail? No. Yeah, I've never been so happy to see a rail trail in my life.
So I think next year, instead of not doing the 90, I'm just going to ride the rail trail back and forth and help people get to the finish line, because everybody I encountered on that 8 miles was like, this is the worst time ever. So I think I'm just going to be like support, like mental support on the rail trail to help you get to the 8 miles at the finish line.
I saw so many water bottles and pumps, and there was just like a fortune of bike equipment here in the age of COVID that you could have sold on eBay out on Longwell Draft on that road. There was just bottles, and there was all sort of gear everywhere. I encountered one guy who was walking the wrong way, and I thought he was looking for bottles because I had just passed a couple of green water bottles. I was like, you're looking for green water bottles? They're right back there. He's like, no, I'm just looking to get out of here. I was like, well, I think you might be going the wrong way, because I think the out is the other way. You might want to just keep going. I don't know what he ended up doing, but yeah, it was probably one of the hardest things I've done, honestly, on a bike. I think I can think of like some big things like Beach Mountain and Blood, Sweat, and Gears, and I've done some big, ugly climbing rides, but man, this one had more elevation, more distance, and it was mud and rain.
Oh, I'll say hands down, that was physically the most hardest bike ride I've ever done.
Yeah. Larry actually...
Type 2 fun, but now it's like very Type 2. Like, I'm so happy.
I was talking to Larry earlier today, and he said it actually rivaled the effort he feels like he put out at SM100. And... I can believe it. I mean, that Longwell Draft, that difference is straight up mountain bike land. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need to have mountain bike skills. You need to have wheels. You need to have tires that can handle it. And it's not for the faint of heart. I'll never do it again. Never, ever do it again. Ever. Been there, done that. Can say I would do, and I'm going to volunteer next year, Dave, don't worry, but I would do the 95 again. Especially if he takes out that last climb.
If you take out the last climb.
But now, like, I'll just throw it out there. After I did my first marathon, I wanted like neck tattoos. Like, look at my 26.2. Like, I did this. Like, like I wanted everybody to know that, I did it. It was done. The hardest part is training. You're never going to have a perfect training season. Mm-hmm. Life is never going to go perfect. You're going to have shit in and out. And how do you manage training on top of all of that?
2 cuss words.
Sorry, Joey.
So I'm going to say this. Anybody who showed up on that course Sunday morning and got on their bike and ventured out won, in my opinion, because that was brutal. Just getting out there and getting on the bike and in that kind of conditions
made it better.
You think it made it better? After the fact, maybe. Because you can say, oh, man, were you here in 21? When
I loved how dirty I was. I don't mean to sound like... Oh, sorry, Joey.
That's okay.
No, go ahead, Joey. No, go ahead.
Done.
No, I think that... Because I had a little stomach issue on the way home. And I think I probably ingested some.
No, you guys ate the gummy bears.
I don't think it was anything to do with gummy bears.
There's rules with gummy bears. You don't eat anything that's not Haribo.
Okay. Well, that's true. They weren't. I have no idea what was in those gummy bears.
No.
I mean,
there wasn't anything unusual in the gummy bears.
By the time
Haribo, nothing else.
Okay.
By the time you got done, I was able to change, eat like some lettuce, because I don't think I ate a fruit or vegetable in the past 24 hours because all I was eating was peanut butter and jellies and a whoopie pie and goose. So I was able to eat. I was able to, wipe down. I was able to get changed. I walked to the Giant, had a Starbucks.
Oh my God.
I was.
We're out there suffering. And she's like,
so 24 hours.
Ariana Grande.
I mean, it's a delicious, a delicious taco salad dinner.
No, that was delicious. But that day of the bike ride, the only reason why I put it in there is because for my nutritionist, I logged my food. And
you got to tell her you're doing a freaking bike ride.
It did. It said 6 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And she was like, was this the day you did your bike ride? And I was like, yeah.
Sorry I didn't cut up some zucchini out on course.
Just because, I do try to balance my food with a carb, a protein, and but I needed a vegetable. So I'm very glad when we got done, we got those meal tickets and I had lettuce. That made me happy.
Did anything ever have tasted better than that whoopie pie?
So good.
At the end
I like that bowl thing With what was this?
I didn't get to get a bowl.
Oh
thing.
man, what was that stuff at the bottom? Risotto.
I didn't.
Oh my
that sounds
god, it was
delicious.
so good with pesto on it.
That
You missed
sounds
out.
Well, that's okay.
So,
that's okay.
We did buy like 2 family meals, like literally
No, we
boxes.
bought the box
The box
bundle.
of McDonald's.
2 of them was like 4 Big Mac or 2 Big Macs, 4 McDoubles,
I think I
fries,
ate
20
half
pieces
of
of
it
nuggets.
too. Maybe that was
Then you were
my
eating it for
stuff.
breakfast.
and then you ate it for breakfast.
No, I had to have a bite of something for breakfast. 'Cause
Shauna.
I know, but there was bagels. There was like,
I made noodles.
yeah,
I did eat a nice breakfast. Well, I had
Oh, yeah.
a big bowl of like Polish Kluski
you
noodles.
had your 2 sandwiches.
sandwiches like egg
So
and
I did make
sausage
sure we all
sandwiches.
got up and I made sure I got up and started cooking some carbs before.
So, Jess, what would you do different next year? Follow the course? Okay, besides
follow the Garmin.
Oh, so funny,
There.
everybody. Ride with the group. Wait for
No,
the aid
no.
stations to be open. I got it. All
what
those
would you
things.
do different? Would you do anything different?
No.
Okay.
90% of my training has been on my Peloton, though.
I'm going to tell you, I think you actually won if you didn't do the 90 or the 120, doing the 30 twice.
I would have.
sounded ridiculously cool.
Basically, won. I was telling my students, and I try not to get into this headspace of, being the best, being the fastest, trying to cream everything. I told my students, I was like, if I didn't get lost, I would have been on that leaderboard for that 30. And then I told them, I was like, guys, I've raced before for times, and that's not where I want to go anymore. And that's why I'm doing all these things.
There you
So, I would love to do the 90. I would love to do the 95 with Joey. But it just wasn't our year to do it together.
Yeah.
Joey needed a win.
What would you do different? Anything?
No.
No. Feel good?
Probably would have brought my other wheels.
Do you think that would have made a difference for you?
No.
No.
My confidence probably on descents, because some of those descents where you think you're flying
Yeah.
and then just someone's faster than you.
Well,
And you just don't want to wash out going in a turn like at 30 miles an hour.
I was very respectful when I saw the caution signs. They did a great job. There were those
yeah.
curve signs.
Not me, I jumped them.
I was really, really careful. I braked early into those. I spent a lot of time alone, so it was both dangerous and good in that respect, that I didn't have other people like trying to pass me or, so on some of those descents, I was out there by myself. And I did pass people on descents from time to time, and that made me feel like I was doing something good out there on descents, which I've never done before. I've never actually felt confident enough to kind of like let the bike roll and let the bike go. I think the water would be a different thing for me. I would actually pack some of my own water so that I made sure I have it.
Yeah, and Coke. You guys were saying you needed
Oh,
a
God.
I
Oh, there was
know.
Coke at Poe Patty.
I know, but like
I
a
needed
thing of Coke,
I
like
needed
Joey
it.
and I when we ride normally, we crave that. Like
I was given a small cup of Coke at Poe Patty.
Take more than one cup.
Larry did. Larry took 6.
I was dying for a Coke at the ranch on the last return. I was distraught for a Coke and water, and that was.
I was
that
actually
tough.
overwhelmed the first time I got to the ranch of all the food, so I think I had a brownie.
I never even left the road. I never got off my bike.
Oh.
Larry was waiting, and he was like, "Tell me when you're ready," and I was like, "I'm ready." I switched water, and I said, "Let's go."
No, I think I had a
we went.
brownie. I was like, there's so much food.
Yeah.
But then I stockpiled at Poe Patty in the ranch the second time.
I think my tires may have slowed me down a little bit on some of the climbs, the 650,
So
47.
you probably made up for it on the descents you just
But
said.
I made up for it on the descents. But I think a better tire selection, especially if it was not a muddy condition, would be what you rode, the 742. I think you
I
nailed
like
it.
that.
I think you nailed
I
it.
mean, I wouldn't even change my bike. That freaking
No,
Kona.
my
I think Larry was riding
The
25.
Kona was amazing. It was
Yeah.
so stable. In those Roval Terra wheels.
my
Oh,
bike was good. My bike was also
another
good.
thing I would change. I got way
You like those bars though? Didn't
over.
you? That's your
yes.
descending why.
Oh my god! And that tape was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was really nice. It was very grippy in the wet. The other thing I would do, I would not carry as much stuff. I would
Use the drop bags more.
I would use the drop bags more. But for drop bags with things like they don't really help you with a tube. So
Pierogi up front, not Rootworks.
yeah,
Pierogi was perfect.
The
The
Rootwork- 'cause
Progri up front was great.
I thought I was going to have to be like taking layers on and taking layers off, so I left a lot of space in my frame bag, and I didn't really have much in there at all.
That was
I
me.
could have gotten everything in the frame bag and the seat bag, the speed sleeve. I could have gotten everything into those two things. I could have ditched the front bag and actually been just as good. So that would be another thing I would change. But beyond that, nothing.
No, I don't think I could do
Nothing.
anything physically.
Nothing.
I think I prepped right with food and water, and not drinking as much.
Well, it was an amazing event, Dave. You
The
put
whole
It was amazing.
man,
It
and I
was,
still got kettle corn.
it was so much fun.
Yep.
It was one of those, I know that COVID was long for everybody and we all miss live racing, and that couldn't have done better for me to get a whole new perspective on training this season and riding more races this season and stuff like that, because I really did miss the energy of a live race.
Yeah.
It was an event. I did not race
Well,
it.
I mean, you know what I mean.
I mean, I know, Josh. I
You
understand.
know, like,
I'm not Larry. I ain't racing.
there's times where training for a year without a race is really hard. So it gave me like, I'm excited. I'm excited to do my next one.
I think Larry did 13 or 14 races this year. Like
14.
massive, like probably at least every other week he had some sort of a, like, not little event, like big event, like SM100 or Monkey Knife Fight.
Dirty Kitten
or,
and Grusk. And
he did them all. He did them all. And beast mode, Larry. Beast mode.
And we all now appreciate Floyd's of Leadville a lot more. We have all rubbed it over
Each other?
You guys have. I love
you
that. I've
guys
been loving
did
that
it.
stuff.
Joey was taking capsules today. Joey's mom texted me, was like, "Is Joey okay?" I was like, "He is fine. He is just taking some stuff to recover. Like, he was totally fine."
I don't think anybody outside my immediate family even knows what I did.
Well, I think because he posted a picture.
You're okay.
I feel like you're yelling at me. I'm sorry.
No. You guys want to do this or that?
Yes.
Let's do this or that. So you put together, I just read through them. You put together a very, very nice group of on-the-fly this or that.
No, I'm going to kill that fly in here.
First item on this week's, and they're all unpaved themes. Do unpaved with bluebird weather and 65 degrees and sunny, or cold, dark, wet, and muddy. Jess? It's okay.
I had a fine time this time, and I only had a t-shirt. Like, I didn't like. I mean, I know you guys were like jacket, unjacket, no jacket, this and that.
Just me.
I just had a St. Jude t-shirt on.
Okay, so you would go with the cold, wet, and
Yeah,
muddy?
it was
Okay.
great. I loved being all muddy. Like, I thought that was super cool.
Cool.
Like, I feel like I missed that part of my childhood playing inside on the internet. Like,
You
know?
Jersey people did.
see, so I think I really missed that, and it was an experience, and yeah, I loved it.
Joey?
Oh, my jacket was horrible. That Rafa jacket, horrible. It's probably good for like one thing, and I haven't figured that out.
Yeah.
Not meant for something like that. I think if it was blue, I've been saying that if it was bluebird weather, it'd just be another day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the one ride that everyone will remember.
Yeah, were you there in 21?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there in 21.
With
I was
that.
there when it was blue skies and the best weather they've had at Dirty Kansas before and never finished.
Yep.
But the crappy, I love that it was like Belgian PA Roubaix, Celine called it.
Yeah, that's
It was
actually
cold.
interesting.
No, it was cold in the mountains. It was totally different when you got down out of the mountains.
Coming
the
down
people-
when it was raining and cold coming
Oh,
down. You saw me when I got back.
You were shivering.
I was shaking. My teeth were chattering. It was cold.
I got a couple points where I was really cold, but once we got down finally out of the mountains, it was toasty.
Okay,
Hold on one second. How long have we known each other? 5 years, 6 years?
87.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, this is the first time I saw you finish a race.
wow.
I raced a cyclocross race on my road bike and I finished.
Oh yeah, that too. Sorry.
So second,
I've done many race events.
so I've done cold.
We did a century on our first day.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I've done
Maybe since
cold,
married.
dark, wet, and muddy. I will take bluebird weather, 65 degrees and sunny. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you don't like the cold. Like
don't.
you're
You're right.
not a
I
cold
don't.
person. Like
I think the forest, I would say, came alive. It was breathtaking. The whole, like, if you actually looked up with it kind of being foggy and overcast, it like
was
brought
cool.
out the color of the trees and yellow.
It was
and
beautiful.
Damp.
and it made me wish there was more photos that I took, but also that would ruin my camera and my phone and my GoPro. Even my GoPro probably would have died because I had
mine
the
did
media
great.
mod. I would have had water in there.
No, mine did great.
Oh, mine
did
still
great.
works, but
Second item this week's this or that: ranch or po patty.
I didn't
How
get to
can
go to
you
either
answer
of
that?
them.
Sorry, Jess.
Right here in the heart, guys. Thanks a lot. Right here.
Joey.
I'm gonna go with the Po Patty.
Yeah, I think you almost got to go with po. Sorry,
Po
Tyler.
Patty with Pin Creek right there.
Yeah.
Pins Creek, and it was
riding by those creeks was absolutely gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
Oh my God.
Those sections. Oh,
All I
man.
wanted to do was jump in them most of the time.
Oh, I was close. I think Marcus got in one with his bottles. I
Did he
wanted to
really?
just get in it. and wash off. But while we were riding through, they were like, "Oh, we should just come up camping one time and ride the difference by ourselves."
That actually is a great
Just
idea.
That would
do
be
that.
so much fun.
So the ranch,
The ranch was like
was a party.
It was.
It was a party. It was like a high school party, like when you go out in the woods when you're kids and there's the fire
it was like
pit.
that. It was like that pit thing.
It had that vibe, which was super, super awesome. Po Patty had a vibe of like
Nate and Evan vibe.
Yeah, it had a different vibe. I don't know which one. It's actually really tough for me to say I would prefer one over the other because they were so much different.
Po Patty was like you said. It was just a whole. The ranch was a gleaming bit of light because when you got to the ranch at the end,
I was never so happy to see that in my life, especially
Yes.
in the daylight at the end of the day. I'm going to punt this one. That's the first time I'm probably going to do that. I'm not going to go either direction.
Po Patty.
unPAved, do a shorter ride and party, or do a longer ride and have no after party. Jess?
I am.
Let's do the question.
It is. I can't. I'm one of those people who I can't like if I'm on a group ride and I'm not in the front, it makes me very angry. Like we all know this about me. So it is very, very difficult for me to take the lesser route and to have the after party.
So you go for the longer route.
I would.
go.
It's just who I am.
Joey?
I don't believe her. She likes to party.
Yeah.
No, I don't like to party.
She's a party animal.
No, I don't like to
She
party.
was a woo girl in
No,
college.
I do not like to party.
She was dancing on bars.
No,
Coyote Ugly.
I know I was a woo girl, but it's just also it's not me anymore. I'm a very meticulous, very type A person now.
I think we just got
I
a title.
like a
I was a
schedule.
woo girl.
I was a woo girl.
Joey?
The party's always cool. I like having the. I mean, I came in before dark time, but I think the 95 was that split of. I still got to enjoy a little bit because it took me a while to actually like feel my body and sit down.
Yeah.
I had just enough of the after party, but I wasn't there for a lot of it. And then I was telling everyone, I was like, man, if Brian and Larry don't get back, I got to Uber home because I was ready to go home.
Yeah.
And then when Larry came in, we were all excited.
The first question out of his mouth was, "Where's Brian?" So
Brian?
we
I was
were
like,
all like,
I was so worried.
"Oh, snakes!"
So I'm gonna go in the middle on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've done both things now, and I think now that I've done the long ride, I would go back and do a shorter ride. But also, like doing the 50, I was at the short ride or after that really short ride, I was at that done party for all day, and by the time you do kind of get like
It was fun waiting for all of you guys to come in. Like, it was fun waiting for Joey to come in. Like, I had a very, very long time between when I got done and when Joey was getting done. So it was very fun in that time. And then when Joey was there, we had a long time for when you got in. So it was super fun. But, I met Aubrey, I met a whole group of people who were, waiting for their significant others to cross the finish line.
I was waiting for mine. That was Brian.
Aw.
Okay.
And
He came running too. I was like so cool.
Okay.
I crossed that finish line and they started to take my pin. Joey
I was first one ever and gave you a hug.
skipping across with his arms.
I was like, we go home now. We met Connie and Marshall, who are new to Maryland.
Yep. We can't wait
met-
to go bike ride with them. That would be awesome.
Just bike ride. We want the train. Just ride. Just ride. That's
right.
how we make it fun.
That's right.
Hotel next door or a whole house Airbnb 10 minutes away.
Shauna. Oh, we're booking our hotel for next year now.
We're literally going to stop this
I went into the hotel twice. I got changed there. I went to the bathroom.
Took a
I,
dookie.
got filled up my water bottle, and then I asked them where the nearest Starbucks was, and I walked to Starbucks. So I think it would be very nice to go to the hotel, shower. But I don't know what we would do with all of our money. When I did go into the hotel, it was mud covered the lobby.
Well, I'm sure.
Like, there was so
Those
much
poor
mud in the
people.
lobby. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, and there was like, even when I went in the downstairs bathroom, like there was towels everywhere. Like there was.
Well, that's just people not being respectful.
Well, I mean, but it was also, there was so much mud. What were you going to do with it all?
Well, it's a
Like,
new hotel, so
yeah.
I think what they'll realize is that next year when this unpaved thing happens,
Shut her
we
down.
need to have a hose outside,
exactly,
and bike
exactly,
wash down
exactly.
because that's going to save them a whole lot of grief
Yeah.
on cleanup.
We're staying there
inside.
next year.
I mean, we even hosed our bikes down at the house, and then we came back here, and there was puddles and puddles of mud at our house.
Yep.
It was nice having the house, the freedom, having the kitchen.
And getting to hang out.
Like, we got to watch a movie. We got to just sit around and BS.
You know, but if somebody gets a nice room there, I'm sure they have like the
suite.
Yeah, if they've got like that kind of thing, and then somebody says, "Yeah, we got the suite, so everybody come hang out here." We could actually do a lot of the same things. So I'm down.
Or we can just get a 55-gallon drum and a grill and just do that in the parking lot.
Like that idea too.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Let's cook out. I'll get.
I would do the hotel next door just simply because of the convenience.
Yeah, the convenience of it. Nobody having to drive back. Like, I felt really bad for like Larry and Marcus, who had to drive back even after the event. Like, you cramp up a little bit, especially when you're sitting in a car and stuff like that.
Yep.
Or in McDonald's.
Yep.
At midnight or whatever we were.
But there was a grocery store right across the street. I mean, it was super convenient for me to go in, get a snack. Not that I needed to. I just really, really needed a coffee.
It's either that or I'm sleeping in Patty.
We're booking our rooms
Doing it
tonight.
now. I'm not going to do it a month before. I'm going to do it 12 months before. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, you guys got anything else before we wrap this up?
I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to write. How did I do for Airbnb?
You want Airbnb rating? You did an awesome job with the Airbnb. You did.
Like, I didn't get us kicked out. I was actually afraid going into like a week or so. I'm like, oh, she's going to cancel on us.
All of a sudden be like, oh, this guy.
Yeah,
no, not this guy.
She listened to our podcast.
No, you did great. It was a perfect place.
A kid in my class was making weenus jokes. Like, the weenus is your elbow, this part.
Yeah, scientifically,
right?
that's your weenus.
So kids were making weenus jokes in my class today. And I was like, guys, I have just spent a weekend with 4 guys in an Airbnb. Like, let's just knock this off right now. Like, I am not ready for your corny jokes again.
Hey, we're full-grown men.
On that note,
I have one thing not related to any of this.
Okay.
The third installment of the Impossible route from Jeremiah Bishop and the Vegan Cyclist is out. And they do this Montana thing from Montana down to Jackson Hole. It is the best one yet.
How far is it?
An hour on YouTube. I think it's 800 miles. And I watched this after unPAved.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was so proud of like my class. No, they're doing like 150-mile days with like 14,000 feet of climbing.
Oh.
Back to back.
And that's not what you want to watch.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool to watch. It was. And
just send me the link. I'll put it in the show notes.
Bears and like backcountry. It was a good video. So if you need an hour of YouTube, it's after Brian's 5-minute unPAved recap.
There we go.
Females out there, we are doing a girls trip to Croatan. So come on out. We're doing the 100. I'm super excited about it. Me, Nadine, and
Croatan.
Amanda are already signed up. So, so girls, any females out there wanting to do the ride, I think it'd be so fun to get a group of us out there and doing it.
Croatan sign up. There's still spots. We'll all be there.
Yep.
I'm going to be master of ceremonies. Just Matt doesn't know it yet. Maybe I'll know if he listens to this podcast and yells at me.
For giving yourself a job?
Yeah. I actually did sign up as a volunteer, but there's a few hundred more spots.
Yep,
And
I was 500.
There's overnights going on. We're going to start doing some promoting of overnights with Matt soon.
Cool.
Things I am not doing.
To fill that up. Oh, it's so beautiful down here. You sleep on the
It's
beach.
probably
Gorgeous.
beautiful, but I hope Nadine is listening that we are not sleeping in a hostile again and that we are sleeping in a nice, cozy bed with
I don't
some.
know. My tent was nice and cozy while you guys were hostile. Anyway, Croatan, sign up. That's the next big thing on our schedule.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you want to support the podcast, the best way to do that is to give us a 5-star rating and consider dropping a review wherever you consume your podcast. Joey, how can folks get in touch with us if they want to contact us?
Well, if you really want to contact us, it seems like we're out of Instagram jail again.
Yes, we are.
Which we did on the morning of unPAved, but no one used their phones on unPAved. So you get what you get. I did make one post, so that's our Instagram's at Mid-Atlantic GTD. And our website is at graveltraveldirt.com, where you can find the latest, greatest issues on recalls. I'm just kidding. We don't have news like that.
We're not doing that.
If you would like to participate in the Wookiee Challenge of GTD 2021, our phone number is 410-474-8345. Please call, leave your best Wookiee impersonation, and hang up. And we'll pick a winner off of the phone number on, what did we say, October 21st?
Something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Endurance recorded this week from right here in Joey's kitchen. So glad to be home. Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others. That's good.
Oh my goodness, that's a good Wookiee
That's
note.
a good
Bye.
one.
Thank you guys for everything.
Love you. Bye.
Jinx, do you owe me a soda?